Every program makes decisions just like you do every day. In Python, those decisions happen using if-else and if-elif-else statement. Let's say you are checking your marks. If marks greater than equal 90, then you get a grade A. If marks greater than equal to 75, you get a grade B. Otherwise, well, maybe next time. In Python, conditions are written like this. Here Python checks each condition from top to bottom and stops once it finds one that's true. In Python there are three main types of conditional statements. First one is if statement, secondly if-else statements, and lastly if-elif-else statement. Additionally, Python supports nested if statements where conditional statements are placed inside another conditional statement, but this is not considered a distinct type. So the primary types of conditional statements are if-else, and if-elif-else. First one is if statement. The if statement is the simplest form of conditional statement. It evaluates a condition and executes a block of code only if the condition is true. If the condition is false, the code block is skipped. Here is the basic syntax of if statement. The condition is evaluated, and if it resolves to true, the indented code block under the if statement runs. If false, Python moves on to the next part of the program. It is used when you need to perform an action only if a specific condition is met. Here is the basic example. In this example, the condition age greater than equal to 18 is true, so the print statement executes. If age were say 16, nothing would be printed. Now second is if-else statement. The if-else statement extends the if statement by providing an alternative block of code to execute when the condition is false. This allows you to handle both the true and false outcomes of a condition. Here is the basic syntax of if-else statement. If the condition is true, the if block runs. If false, the else block runs. Only one of the two blocks will execute. It is used when you need to choose between two mutually exclusive actions based on a condition. Here is the example. Here, since temperature greater than 30 is false, that is 25 is not greater than 30, so the else block executes. Third, if-elif-else statement. The if-elif-else statement allows you to check multiple conditions in sequence. Python evaluates each condition in order, executing the block of the first true condition. If none of the conditions are true, an optional else block can run. Here is the syntax of if-elif-else statement. Python checks condition 1. If true, it runs the corresponding block and skips the rest. If false, it moves to the next elif condition and so on. If no conditions are true, the else block, if present, then runs it. It is used when you have multiple conditions to check and each condition leads to a different action. Here is the example of if-elif-else statement. In this case, Python checks the condition in order. Since score greater than equal 90 is false but score greater than equal 80 is true, it executes the elif score greater than equal 80 block and skips the rest. Lastly, nested if statements. Nested if statement occur when you place an if-else or if-elif-else statement inside another if or elif block. This allows for more complex decision making by checking additional conditions within a condition. Here is the syntax of nested if statements. It is used when you need to make decisions based on multiple layers of condition. The outer of condition is evaluated first. If true, the inner if condition is checked, and so on. This can create a hierarchy of condition. Here is the example you can see. Here the outer condition age greater than equal 80 is true, so Python checks the nested condition age underscore id. Since this is true, the nested if block can run. Here are some additional information that most to know, and the question is for you. Write a Python program that checks if a number is positive, negative or 0. Try this question and drop your answer in the comments below. This is CodeNFacts, your daily boast of coding, fun and real talk. Like, share and subscribe if you are learning something new every day.